This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego and welcome to another episode of Alexandra TV. In this week's episode, I am sharing with you my number one secret to staying positive no matter what happens in your life. Now, of course, having a positive attitude is very easy when things are going the way that you want them to go. When everything is going great in your life, being positive, of course, that's easy, right? But when things are not going the way that you want them to go, when life knocks you down, when things start to happen, that's when it gets harder to be positive. And a lot of people will fall into the trap of starting to think very negatively and feel negative about life and feeling like it's unfair and just feeling like they are the victims of their circumstances. And that's really the worst thing that you can do. So in this week's episode, I'm going to share with you what is this number one secret that I've been using for years, really. I think I've been using this secret since I was a child. I think I've always had this formula, if I can call it like that I've been using way before I started doing coaching and studying personal development and the human brain and all of that. I really started using this. I like to call it the victorious vision, having a victorious vision. Now, what does this mean? As I look back on all of the difficult situations that I've ever been through, all the very difficult moments and times of my life where I felt like everything was over and that it was the end of the world, I still remember how, even as I was going through that, even as I was living that situation, as I was walking and going through the fire, if I can call it like that, I always had a victorious vision in my mind. Now, what this was, it was simply this voice in my head telling me this is going to be a really great story to tell once you survive this. So once you go through this and once this situation is over, this is going to be a really inspiring and empowering story to share with the world. And like I said, this was way before I even started doing all of this, before I became a certified life coach. I remember even as a teenager, as a child, anytime that I would go through something difficult, I would always start to create this victorious vision in my mind. Now, at the time, of course, I didn't know if I was going to go through it. I didn't know if I was going to survive it, if we can say it like that. But I still always had that victorious vision of me going through the situation, surviving it, and after, at the end, being able to come out of it stronger, better, and also with a great story to tell. And sometimes even when I was going through these situations, things would start to happen and it would make it even worse. But instead of starting to feel negative, I remember I would always say, oh, this is going to be even better now. Now it's going to be even better because now I have this other thing that's happening. So imagine this story. I would always have this victorious vision in my mind, which allowed me to stay positive throughout the situation. If right now you're going through a very difficult situation, perhaps right now you are experiencing the worst and biggest trial of your life, you are really going through fire, you're walking through the fire and it's hard and it's difficult and you start to feel like you're being negative. Well, don't. What I want you to do is I want you to start creating a victorious vision in your mind, because by being a victor and not feeling like you are the victim, well, that's when you will start to be more positive. And when you start being positive in situations like that, that's when you're able to come out of it. When you start feeling negative, well, you just stay in that energy and that situation never ends. So you definitely want to be positive in situations like that. In the comment section down below, let me know what are the trials and fires and difficult situations that you've been through in your life. Perhaps you're going to inspire someone else who's going through something similar than what you've been through. You know, if you already survived it, if you went through it, please feel free to share this with all of us here. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, for new videos every week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Did you like this video? If so, here's 3 very simple things that I want you to do. First of all, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel because you get free videos every single week. So of course you don't want to miss that. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to go on my website, alexandravillarroel.com, and subscribe also to my email list, because every week I send you content by email that you don't see here on Alexandra TV, but it's free content with coaching techniques, strategies, so you don't want to miss that either. And the third thing that I want you to do is I want you to share this video. Share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, email it to a friend, or even call a friend and say you need to go watch this. As Maya Angelou once said, when you learn, teach. So everything that you learned today, make sure you share it and you teach it to someone. I look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of Alexandra TV. And until then, don't forget to love life, others, and yourself.